Heel.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So I just asked Vance this, but going into the Clemson game tomorrow, you guys haven't played them this season. What are some specific things that you're looking at in that matchup?
Yeah, I mean, looked at them a lot yesterday, actually. They're a good team. The ACC is extremely deep. They've got, a player on their team that's got 25-plus home runs with 70-plus RBIs. They've been really good offensively. They have a lot of RBIs, a lot of home runs, I think over 90. They've got a frontline arm in England. I don't know if he's throwing. They've announced their starter. But it'll be a tough task for sure. We haven't played them. They haven't played us, so I'm kind of excited about that. They've got a rich tradition. We have a rich tradition. The thing that sticks out the most is how well they've been, how good they've been offensively.
I just want to let y'all do everything.
Oh,
first.
yeah, cool. And then looking forward to the Virginia Tech matchup. Obviously, that is a team that you guys played early this season. I think they won 2. You guys won like the 3rd game. What are some things that you were looking at specifically in that matchup?
I mean, you have to give them a lot of credit. It's hard to win our league overall. They won our division. They're hard to match up against from the standpoint they hit right-handers, left-handers, so they distribute them throughout the order. They've got a couple really high draft picks in Schobel and Cross. And their 2 starters have thrown extremely well for them this year. If you look at their innings pitched and their innings pitched in the ACC. The one thing for us is we're a much different team than we were when we played them early. So I feel good about that. I'm excited about playing them. I feel like they took it to us pretty good those first 2 games, but that was a big win for us on Sunday. So they're playing well, we're playing well. It'll be great. A night game on a Friday night will be awesome.
Is there a player that you're expecting to step up come tournament time?
Hopefully the same ones that have been. It's still about pitching and defense, and I think Colby Wilkerson, even though not many people have talked about him, has really locked down our infield defensively. We haven't given our opponents as many outs defensively, which is important. Schaefer and Carlson have both pitched deeper into games. Our bullpen's throwing better, so that's where it starts. But you look at us offensively, I think we can match up with anybody now. We've got righties, we've got lefties, we've got power, we've got speed, and I think the same guys, hopefully can continue to carry their momentum with how they finished the regular season into the postseason.
Is there a sense of an underdog mentality that the players have?
There was at the beginning of the year, because obviously, we were one of the teams that I don't know if a publication, except for maybe Collegiate Baseball, picked us to make the postseason, to really be in the mix. So that chip has been there. I don't think the guys are going to lose that. So they're always playing with something to prove. But we feel like we can beat anybody, and that's how college baseball is right now. So I wouldn't necessarily say underdog, but more, a little more like, okay, out to prove something.
Cool. And I also asked this to Vance, but what do you think was going right for you guys in the series sweep of Florida State, and what are you hoping to carry over from that into the ACC championship?
Yeah, momentum's a big thing, and as soon as the game was close, we were at home, and who knows if Alberto doesn't hit that 3-run home run, that walk-off home run, the momentum can change in their factor. We had the momentum, we carried the momentum. I thought we played extremely well defensively all weekend. And then we had some big hits with the long ball and worked counts, and their pitching is really good. So I thought the momentum from the Thursday night game carried us into it, and then I thought we were the aggressive team the rest of the way.
Yeah. And I was also going to ask, I think we talked about in the post-game interview after Gardner-Webb, maybe, if I can remember, but in just tight games like you might anticipate against a really good Virginia Tech team coming up this week, how important is it going to be for you guys to be able to play that small ball or move Vance up and get those manufactured runs? Yeah,
that's going to be really important. We work on it a ton. The closer the game is, the better you have to be at that on both sides. You got to defend it and you have to be able to execute it. So our guys, we did a good job of that too against Florida State. For the most part, we got our bunts down. We had good situational hitting, especially with runners on third base and less than 2 outs, and got those runs in almost every time. And that's what it takes when you're playing a good team. The good thing for us is, we lost some of those games, that were really close, but now we're starting to find ways to win those games that are really close. So you have to learn how to win those games and expect to win.
Yeah. And I mean, part of that you just talked about the runners in third position, getting them there and getting those runs in. And then you also just have the clutch factor, like you also mentioned, of Osuna being able to step up.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 outs, 2 strikes kind of deal on Friday. How important is it going to be for those guys like Osuna? I mean, you can name any other batter down the lineup to step up like that.
Yeah, if you look at our lineup now, different guys have done it, and I think that's important because hitting is so hard. If Alberto doesn't do it, Mikey seemed to do it. You look at Mikey swing the bat all the way back against Wake Forest when he had the bases loaded, it cleared the bases. So we feel good about, and even Colby's had good at bats in that 9-hole, finding a way to get on base, getting his bunts down. But all of our guys, you're top of the order. They have to produce, especially from the RBI standpoint, for you to have success. And the bottom of the order needs to find a way to get on base so those guys can be up there when they are on base.
Yeah. I was also gonna ask. I mean, you have the game against Clemson and Virginia Tech. It's kind of like a toss-up after that. But have you thought about who you're gonna throw either of those games?
We'll throw Schaefer against Virginia Tech.
Okay.
And we don't know. We're gonna, with having that much gap in between, we'll use whoever we need to besides Schaefer against Clemson. And we can really throw guys more than normal. Like a Davis Palermo could throw 60 pitches if we chose to go that route on Tuesday because he has 2 days. But if we beat Clemson and then we're in that Friday game, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use whoever it takes to win that game because if we don't win it, we don't advance. And it doesn't matter. And then as the game is going along, we'll have someone in mind that we would consider starting on Saturday. That'd probably be Will Sandy.
Yeah. Any foreseeable lineup changes depending on pitchers in Clemson and Virginia Tech?
I don't think so. I think you can see Stokely and Johnny Castagnazzi interchanging a little bit at first base, and depending on it's a tournament, you play a lot of games consecutively. We could get Max Reamer in there, or we could get Eric Grinson there to give Tomas a little bit of a break.
Coach, in what ways did you? I'm gonna sit down.
Yeah, you sit down. Go ahead.
What do you feel like you guys have?
Starting pitching, number one. Our 2 starters have given us much more length. At that point, we weren't getting much more than 3 innings, from our starters. And although our bullpen was good, it was a hard thing to manage because your bullpen is going to get worn out. I would say the other thing is we've really improved defensively. Colby's been a big factor there. He's a shortstop playing second base. We've turned a ton of double plays the last 3 weekends in big situations. He's been a big factor in that. And then not out of the blue, we knew it was there. But Matt, Horvath, Osuna, Honeycutt, Soretti, and Zarate, they've really been good. When your 5 are good, it's hard to have much breathing room. And 6 through 9 have gotten on base. I think the biggest thing is the confidence factor. You win a couple games and you go to NC State, you win the series. All of a sudden you find those, you realize, okay, we can win this problem. I know. It does it all the time. We were retiring Coach Fox's jersey, and that thing came right over the middle. I'm like, man.
Hey, that sounds a little better now.
Yeah.
So, do you guys welcome the challenge of being in this pool with, Virginia
absolutely.
Tech and,
Absolutely.
With the tradition?
Yeah, when you have competitors, and we talk about our tradition, and somebody got you pretty good. You look forward to having that opportunity if you get it to play them again, even if they're the current number 1 team in the league. That's one thing about this group. They're not going to back down. They're going to be aggressive, and now with that confidence factor, I think they feel like they can beat anybody.